Come with us on a journey into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unbelievable. We will test your senses and challenge your beliefs. A world where science and religion clash. Or do they? You will meet real people and hear real stories, but you will not believe. You will witness strange sights and hear strange sounds, but you will not believe. This is the New England Ghost Project. Welcome to the nightmare.
Good morning, everyone. I see dead people. I'd like to see some dead people right now. Anyways, I am Ron Kolek, your host, the gatekeeper of the realm of the unknown, the unexplained, and all that crap.
Too loud.
And with me, as usual, is New England's scary godmother, Roxy Zwicker.
Boo, good morning.
See that blue box in front of you?
What's the problem?
See that blue box in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Turn down number 2.
Turned out, it's like on the air and you're giving me commands?
Yes,
Oh!
because we're losing guests soon.
Blowing my eardrums out.
Is that better?
I don't know.
Yes.
All right, so there you go. Now you lost my train of thought.
Introduction.
Speaking about trains of thought, out in the hall is the conductor, Ken.
Aboard.
And a very special guest today are Van Helsing's Angels, Ann Carrigan and Leslie Martin.
Yeah, here we are.
You guys can talk, you know, you are allowed to talk.
Oh, God.
This is so bad.
There's such a delay on the screen. I'm just not even going to look at it.
Why are you looking at the
Look at the
screen?
screen.
Oh my God, just shoot me.
I'm a video person.
I can't do the
at
chat,
the screen.
chat room, and
It's going to be a long show, people. I'm sorry already. I make apologies in advance. So anyways, guys,
Girls,
whatever.
whatever.
Do you remember?
Ladies.
Do you remember? I don't think it was last show. The show before, we were talking about spirits and ghosts and all around the world, right? And the most seen one was someone we never thought of, and that was, of course, the Blessed Virgin Mary. She's seen in every country, in all different places, and in different ways as well. Not only is she seen visually, but she also speaks to people and everything else. And of course, she shows up in toast and stuff.
Windows.
Yes, she did.
Windows,
panes,
toast, there you go, right.
Clouds.
So,
Right.
on that note, we have a new sighting of the Blessed Virgin.
dun, dun, dun.
Inside a Catholic church in New Mexico, a 7-foot-tall bronze statue of the Virgin Mary appears to be weeping, according to church leaders. And actually, you can see the video on YouTube. The sculpture, locally known as Our Lady de Guadalupe, or whatever,
Guadalupe.
yeah, in Mexico,
Guadalupe.
is not crying human tears. An investigator with the Catholic Church Diocese of La Cruz said that her tears are
There's
the
a church
same
of
chemical
dialysis?
makeup as
Yeah, kidney dialysis.
Okay. What? Just trying to keep up with the
The
story.
diocese?
wait a minute. It's the same chemical makeup of olive oil treated with perfume, a substance that, when blessed, is the chrism, a sacred oil used in the Catholic Church to anoint parishioners, or somebody. But church leaders say it's a rare occurrence that
Wait a second. Wait a second.
What?
Catholic Church anoints people with olive oil?
And then
Yeah,
they put up
sacred
a
oils.
cheddar afterwards.
Oh, once a year, it's like a big deal. They go down to the big
Maybe I gave
diocese.
up on the Catholic Church too early.
There's a big thing in.
You didn't know there was dip.
And
I'm in it for the dip.
it's a big church, and all the priests from all the
Yeah.
dialysis goes down.
Dialysis.
Go down, and they get the sacred oils, and that's what they anoint people with. When Jan had a cancer, was going through a
Five minutes
cancer, she
into
had
the
to go
show.
through the anointment and
The sacred
and,
oils are olive oil.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Anyways, so the question, one expert says, is merely not how it's happening, which they can't prove, by the way. It's how people are responding to the phenomena. The Catholic Church has a long history of believing in supernatural signs. See, we're partners. John Tavis, who wrote 2015 book, The Vatican Prophecies, said Tuesday in a phone interview, there is kind of a wait a minute, he doesn't talk like that. There is a kind of curiosity about enthusiasm when something like this happens.
What is he, Southern?
He must be. I don't know.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I just don't.
Anyways, so this has really happened. So it started on Pentecost Sunday, May 20th, when parishioners of Our Lady of Guadalupe
Guadalupe! It's getting worse.
Church in Hobbs noticed that there appeared to be tears stemming from the Virgin Mary's eyes. Judy Ranaculo, the business manager for the church, told the Washington Post that the statue continued to weep that next day as well, and occurred several more times. Ron Kilo, I could use a kilo right now, translated questions into Spanish for the priest, Reverend Jose Sagara, who was quoted as saying that in 12 years of his priesthood, he has never seen anything like it. Duh, of course not.
Address all correspondence to Ron
Sarah
Kolek,
Guerra said the cameras in
New
the
England
church
Ghost Project.
cameras in the church had no
.com.
no man-made explanation. You guys are killing my reading this.
I think you're doing that all by
I can't
yourself
concentrate.
really well.
So, anyways,
Have to
they
hang up, show up.
did check out the oil, and they also checked out the statue, which is bronze and hollow on the inside, and nothing.
Did it come from Italy?
What's that?
Did it come from Italy?
No.
Why
would
said
it
that
come-
with such conviction?
I was going to say, how do you know?
How do you know?
How do I know what?
It didn't come from Italy.
Who comes from Italy?
The statue.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was coming from Italy. He's freaking Spanish. How could he come from Italy? What?
He's trying to get all the
Something
facts
coming
here.
from Italy dripping with olive oil?
Window.
Seem that unusual?
Window with the Catholic Diocese of La Cruz
Can we not use that
Diocese.
word anymore?
He's changed it a bit. Now it's dialysis.
said that at the time, investigators have discovered no evidence that the events were man-made, but they're still monitoring the situation. If it is not man-made, he said, that leaves two possibilities.
Dun, dun, dun.
Satan or God. All we can say
Satan
at this
works in
point
olive oil, too?
is what it's not. So there
He
you
likes
go.
appetizers too,
All right.
apparently.
Isn't that cool? The interesting thing about this is I was on the doing the haunted tours on Saturday. Thank you, young lady.
Welcome.
And Jeremy D'Entremont, who's not even Catholic and everything else, he says, Rod, you see this? This statue is bleeding. He says, I really believe in this stuff. And it's like, it's like, oh, okay, cool.
I actually took a picture that I believe is the Virgin Mary in the sky.
Really?
You've seen it.
Are you talking to the mic?
No, I'm talking
Why
to
are you
your
looking
face.
at me?
It's on my website, which is lesliemartin.com, and way back in the
Shameless plug.
early pages. But there was this rainstorm going on, and then the sky kind of cleared, but there was this shimmering pink column, and I was like, oh my God, my daughter was with me, and she said, I don't see it. I'm just take a picture of it. Just take a picture of it. So I made her take a picture of it, and I see the Virgin Mary, but it's up to
You're
you
not
to
even
decide.
Catholic, right?
to
No, I'm
interpretation.
Episcopalian.
There you go.
Episcopalian, what is that like?
It's Church of England,
Oh,
American
which is
style.
very close, right? It's like, our brothers,
Yeah.
or sisters, or cousins or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you should check it out and see if you think it's the
All right.
Virgin Mary. Yeah.
See,
I'll
that
have
makes
to do
more
that.
sense. If I were a semi-deity, I don't know if I'd be appearing in a potato chip.
Yeah.
Or leaking olive oil from
Have
a
something
statue. I'd be
a
in the
little more
clouds.
class.
See, the cool thing, though, is that you would relate to the person that you're trying to contact, right?
So if you could only reach them through potato
Well,
chips, that's
that's
what
So
you do?
if you're,
Or toast.
if you're like a
Yeah.
junky food addict, then maybe that's the Virgin Mary's way to tell you lay off the chips.
Whoa.
So, Lou, where would you appear if you were the Virgin Mary?
I'd do the cloud thing.
the cloud thing?
Yeah, do it big, man.
And she does that a lot. She really does do that a lot. And I agree, the grilled cheese sandwich and those other things are intriguing. And in fact, remember you posted quite a few of your photos when
Yes.
we did the show of the toilet bowl and. Oh my God. No,
Was it a sink drain?
No.
what was it?
A sink drain.
Okay.
A sink
I
drain.
don't want to see anything in the toilet. that
Sink
looks like
drain.
the Virgin Mary.
No, me neither.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to
I'd do it at a sunset
I
with a
determined
rainbow.
I have to-
and I'd show up.
lip read. So anyway, all right. So that's a follow up on the show we did, which is on the world's most famous ghost. So there you go. All right, so we don't have Conductor Ken
Because he's in the hallway.
because he's in the hallway.
Not enough seats.
To read.
Sorry.
Actually, Conductor, why don't you come in and read this?
Let's really throw you off, Lou, now.
No, it's fine. I'm going
Come
to
on
leave
in.
anyway. I'll be
No, you-
back in a minute.
He's like, I'm out of here.
July, what's today? 23rd?
Yes.
All right, Ken, come on here, take my seat.
Oh my God, what is going on
This is going to be
here?
interesting.
Come on,
Musical
Ken.
chairs in here.
Ken, come on in. Just
There you go.
squeeze in.
All
Have my
right.
seat.
La, la, la.
Squeeze right in here for a minute.
Yeah.
And what have we today?
Ooh, can you get in there?
Hello, everybody.
Hola.
And without further ado, here is the reader of the ghosty, spooky stories,
What's today?
Conductor Ken.
Today is what?
Really, Roxy, you did that?
July
I don't know.
23rd. We're looking at here.
That would
Yes,
be
it
it.
is.
Gridley Tunnel, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan. The narrow Gridley Tunnel is one of 20 tunnels on the Yokosuka Naval Base.
Thank God he's saying this.
I was just thinking that, actually. Yeah.
Through the years, several reports of supernatural activities have surfaced. They all involve people driving through the tunnel on rainy nights. The odd happenings usually take place between midnight and 1 in the morning,
I love a rainy night.
when there's only one car on this secluded patch of road. From out of nowhere, the ghostly apparition of a samurai appears. Some believe that this honor-bound samurai was ambushed and killed while on a mission for his lord. Sworn to complete his mission, he is damned for eternity until it is completed. If you find yourself driving through the Gridley Tunnel at midnight on a rainy evening, beware of the samurai, or you find yourself swerving off the road in sheer terror. Short one today. That's it.
Thank God. Now get out of here.
Nice one.
Thanks,
Run his
Ken.
ass
Great to
down.
be here.
Better not show up in New England.
I think.
There's an old Polish saying, the show must go on, and it did. So there you go. Ken, that was Conductor Ken once again. Thank you very much.
All aboard.
There you go. What'd you do with the card? Oh, there it is. All right. All right, so there you go.
Put it back in the book.
So, you, Ann,
Yes,
you've been quiet today.
I have.
Yeah.
I thought I've been taking snide remarks at you all morning since I got here.
He's just
Really?
pretending not to listen.
Okay.
It's like every woman I never
I thought
listen
it
to.
was
Him.
noisy.
See, look, there it is. He just admitted it.
I never listen to him.
What about me?
Nothing. So what's your take on all this stuff about, the Virgin Mary and all that?
The Virgin Mary. Just appearing randomly in toast and Cheez-Its.
No, about the whole thing. It's more than one. She is the most popular person in the world as far as being seen.
I have to see it to believe it, I guess. That's my take
You're
on it.
doubting Thomas, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Roxy, what about you? You're not Catholic, right?
I'm not.
And I'm Catholic.
Don't
I'm
bite.
Catholic,
Don't
so-
bite on it.
I'm
Not really.
Doesn't hurt, you know.
Yeah.
I know that. I think anything's possible. I think we can't rule it out. And energy is everywhere, and it manifests in its own special way. And if it's a way that it's going to get through to people, they understand, then that's fine. I mean, I'm not sure. I necessarily think that she'd be in a piece of toast, but you know what? That's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
But who am I to say? I'm not having that experience.
Right. So,
I kind of think of the Virgin Mary as the First Lady of God, making public appearances.
that's
I like that.
actually we got together for my mom's birthday, who passed away. There was like 4 or 6 of the Kolek clan, and I was talking to my brother Doug, who's very religious, and he told me that that's what God sent out Mary as his PR man.
Woman, you're a woman.
Man, it doesn't really matter.
Yes, it does.
It
I'm a little
does.
unclear on the family tree, actually.
I'm sure you said something.
He's unclear on the family tree.
Oh, there you go.
Because Jesus and God are the same thing, are they not?
Yes.
Okay. So the Virgin Mary is God's
Mother wife.
Mother.
Mother.
wife.
Jesus, the way I was brought up is Jesus is the Son of God.
Right.
Ah.
But they're all in one.
Yes, right. But so that's
So picture yourself as being cloned. So you send your clone down to do the dirty work.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go.
That doesn't explain a lot.
What does that have to do
What's
with
your
Mary?
relationship with the woman who gave birth to your clone?
Well, because you've got to, the person has to grow somewhere.
Right.
So
they're a host?
yeah, basically the mother,
Really?
the host. I mean, every mother's a host when you look at it.
True.
True, it is true.
So it's just like a pod person?
A pod person. When you get right down to it, it's kind of what women are, right? Pod people.
Wait a minute. No,
Address
no, no.
all correspondence to Ron Kolek.
Just no, Ron.
No,
We're
no.
not pod people.
No, there's more to it.
Oh my God.
Can I borrow your book?
Yeah, which one?
You gonna smack her upside the head with it?
No,
Thank
she's
you.
not. Give me that.
Yes, she is.
Never do that again. Mm-hmm. So no, I mean, in reality, if you're just looking at it as a cold analogy, that's basically what you do.
Yeah. Troublemaker.
You bear children.
You bear pods.
Like
You're the one that brought up pod. I never said pod. Did I mention pod? No, it was you. Run back the
that
tape.
pea pod and there are little
Pea-pod.
babies in there.
Right. There you go.
Right. I mean, woman carries a child. It's a very special thing for them. I mean, I can't. How many times I've tried, I can't have children. Just saying.
What are you trying to tell us?
What? That it's special. So, anyways, I don't know how we got there. We were
I
not
don't
the
either.
pod people and
Way far down that
Lou's
path.
fault. I remember now.
So
Lou.
if
All right, what's
the
that?
Virgin Mary decided to take up residence with Satan, would we be
can't.
talking a divorce agreement, or would we be talking
Nah, it won't
beneficiary
happen.
change?
No, it won't happen.
Okay.
No.
Just trying to figure out the
She's
relationship,
not like
that's all.
evil mother,
No, I know.
I mean, just don't compare it to some people you know. That's all I can say.
Oh.
Okay.
That was intense.
He's
Right.
not wrong, by the way. But
Terrific.
No, the Virgin Mary plays a special role, as we discussed in the show before.
I know, I'm trying to find the
edge.
edges of the table of that role.
She raised, and Joseph did too, because he was the father.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Joseph gets screwed in all of this.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
No, he gets kind of like a special place.
Where?
He gets the St. Joseph medal. Get a medal named after you, that's pretty cool. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know what? You're long gone and you still got a St. Joseph medal. You're still getting hospitals named after you. You're still
Okay.
getting everything. That's pretty cool.
Aspirin.
Right. Would you, I mean,
Wow, at the same time.
Bam.
St. Leslie, that would be nice to have your own medal, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Anne, wouldn't you
I'm
have your own
St.
medal?
Anne, right?
Right?
St. Anne. It is. There's plenty of St.
There's a
Anne's.
St. Ronald, too,
Oh, that's frightening.
Personally, I'd take the cash.
Really frightening.
Take the cash.
Tell him what he could have won, Ron.
Yeah.
No.
I don't need sainthood. I'll take the cash.
Whatever. And that's the interesting thing, though. I mean, we talk about, you talk about like all these entrepreneurs and everything, and they get buildings named after them and bridges and everything else, and nobody even knows who they are afterwards.
Oh, entrepreneur is that what he said?
That's what he said. Yeah.
I was a little confused.
What a pile of manure is.
I don't know.
I wasn't
That's what
quite
it
sure
is.
what you said.
But I mean, something
On
like
top
that.
of what?
It's more important that the people you touch than it is getting a building named after you, because your legacy lives on through that. And then eventually they make you a saint, and you get a little medal, and then you're strapped to somebody's bra, and that's it.
What?
All right.
What?
What?
I really want to pursue that, but yet I
It's an
don't.
evil eye. It's an evil eye. It's an
don't
evil
do
eye
it.
thing.
No, I mean, that's what my wife does. Because, like, when she was going through the cancer, she made, she, like, really got into the Virgin Mary, and so she always has a medallion, medal, pinned to her bra.
Okay.
And it protects her.
All right.
And she survived. Trust me, she was only given a 10 to 15% chance of survival.
Wow.
And, say what you may, I'll take it.
Miracles
If
happen.
it
Sign
works,
up, man.
if it works, it works.
All right.
So don't knock it till you try it. Mm-hmm. That's an old Polish saying too, I believe.
So you might want to reconsider taking the money and being with the medal.
That's right, Lou.
No, I'm still.
You could be a happy man if you found God.
Other than having a medal of me stuck in women's bras? That's eternity? Is that,
Think about it.
those my choices?
Think about it.
Those are your choices.
Think about it.
No,
Hey.
I'm going with the money.
Think about it. All that energy.
St. Lou.
Is there a St. Lou?
Oh, I don't know. We'll come up with one.
Lou, can you check that out for us? See if there is it.
I'm sure there's.
There's a Catholic website that lists all the official saints. I mean, there are like unofficial saints, like Saint.
St. Louis, Missouri.
What would Lou be the saint of?
Whoa.
What would he be the saint of?
I don't know. That's what we'll find out.
Well, if you were going to pick, if you could elect.
Oh, if Lou was a saint,
Yeah.
what would he be?
Yeah, what would he be the saint of? Putting up with you every Monday?
He would be the saint of media, the saint of.
Patron saint of the airwaves.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
That's
go.
what I would say. You know, if Anne was going to be a saint, what would you be a
Yeah.
saint of?
Oh, God. For putting up with you, yeah. I don't even know.
We'd all join that saint at Anne.
No, seriously. Usually, a saint is named after a good
There
traitor.
is not a St. Lou.
Saint
There is no St. Lou?
No.
On the Lewis,
No.
That's a town. It's a city.
St.
There are
Louis.
only 5 L saints.
There's a St. Ronald, you know.
I believe
I've
it.
heard that
Yes, there is.
twice now.
Yes, there is. He was
know what I
he was a
was-
Scottish chieftain killed by his men.
And yet it's not listed here.
You're on the wrong site.
I'm on Wikipedia.
Oh, Josh, I said you're on the wrong site, you clunk ahead. What?
That was a little loud.
Ouch.
I don't have a microphone. I mean an earphone.
You
I
got a
can't
microphone,
hear.
all right, honey.
But I ain't got an earphone. The official Catholic
you
site.
wouldn't be so
Catholic
loud.
Online. Okay, here we go.
You got the
Catholic
official Catholic
Online.
online site?
Catholic. Yeah, Catholic.
Wait. I've been at the Yell. See if there's a St. Leslie. She may be there.
I'm the saint of naughty children.
Yes, you are.
That's what you would be?
Yes.
Saint of naughty
Would
children.
you be a saint of naughty children?
Yes.
God, I don't know what I'd be.
My job.
I would. I figured I would be the saint of wayward woman.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
Does it count if they have both names? Like there's a St. Louis. Bob? No, that's a BL. What's a BL?
A BL? What's a BL?
Yeah.
I know what BS is. I don't know what BL is.
Bacon,
Is that like
lettuce,
without the
tomato?
tomatoes?
Bacon, lettuce, tomato? No.
I don't know. It's your website.
I can't see
It's your
it.
religion, I guess he's saying.
So what's a St. Lou anyway?
No.
Know what?
Hang on.
He's reading.
It's
Oh my God.
Read it.
It's, you got to read the thing. It's not like it's.
3 billion saints here.
Yeah, but you just.
I'm wondering why I'm not a saint specifically at this point.
As well, you should be.
There are several BL period. There's Louis Beltran, there's Louis Baba, there's Louis Bertrand, there's Louis St. Louis Bertrand. So he got a BL and an ST. Louis Bertrand.
You got an
whoever he
SP
is.
too?
But not an STD.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
The St. Louis de Montfort,
So what are these saints
St.
for?
Louis Ibachi,
Well, pick one.
St. Louis Ninth,
Hibachi?
Yeah. Right.
but there's no just plain St. Louis.
He
So
needs
there you
these.
go.
That's it.
I love hibachis.
I'd be Saint Anne of the sushi.
Saint Anne of sushi. That's
Saint
good.
Anne of the sushi.
So is there a Saint Ronald?
Hang on.
He's in the L's.
I'm in the L's.
Oh, Leslie. Look for Saint Leslie.
I doubt there's one.
There could be. Anyways, you can go on this website and check out your if you are a saint too, and you'll find out, like me, that you're divine.
Divine, all right.
Something like that.
Anyway, all right. So Lou is looking up for Saint Leslie or Saint Ronald.
There is a St. Ronald, yes.
There is a Saint Ronald.
Yes, there is.
And would you like to read that
Hang on.
for our listeners?
Listener.
The Vatican isn't paying up for servers, apparently.
It's Satan. He's playing games with us. Drained her phone. I'm telling you right here.
There are no comments on Catholic.org for St. Ronald.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Well, you're on the
have to
wrong
go
site. There's one that
someplace else,
explains them
yeah.
all, anyways. But anyways,
know
but he
what
was
happened to
he was
my
a Scottish
Catholic.org. How wrong can I be?
whatever. He was a Scottish chief, and he was killed by his own men. So there you go.
I believe that.
Something to do with a name, I think.
So anyway, all right, Roxy, if you were a saint, who would you be saint of?
I would be
Patron saint of-
the patron saint of lost spirits.
Oh, that's a
There you
good
go.
one. I like that one.
Saint Roxy has a great ring, doesn't it?
does.
Saint Roxy.
Saint Roxy.
There's power behind it.
Is Roxy like your real name, or is that like a nickname?
You want to see my license? It's my real name.
No, I'm serious. I didn't know if it was like Roxanne or something like
No,
that.
no, that's
Okay,
my
no,
real
I was
name.
just
It is.
being inquisitive.
Inquisitive.
Now it says 41.
What is this, the Spanish Inquisition?
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah,
Where-
it could be. Anna's got her juice back, so we're all set.
Yeah. I don't
She's
know.
juicing.
It's all that Virgin Mary talk.
40%. See?
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Now she's going to appear on your phone.
Oh, there she is. Where did I take that?
All right, so let's move. Well, you know what? Let's take a break and then we'll come back and regroup and come up with some real talk.
Some real paranormal stuff?
Yes.
Did you throw it?
Yes, he threw it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
He's thrown it.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolek at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Are you seeing a ghostly apparition every time you look in the mirror? Are you terrified to realize that pale, lifeless, lack of energy form hovering before you is in fact you? How would you like to be transformed? Healing begins from within, and it's never too late to start feeling good. Are you curious? Interested? Good. Don't wait another minute. Visit transformyourlifenow.org or contact Maureen. The email address is maureen@transformyourlife.org.
To Ghost Chronicles Morning Edition. I am your scary godmother, Roxy Zwicker. You're finding us on the net, New England Talks, 102.9 FM HD2, and Facebook Live. There we are. Look at all of our happy faces there. We're here in the studio, of course, with Ron Kolek, the charming Leslie Martin, and of course, the blonde bombshell down there, Ann Kerrigan, who Ron just happily turned to all of us and said, "So, what are we talking about next?"
So what about Conductor Ken?
Oh, well, Conductor Ken's out in the hall. There he is.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah. We know what that means to all our board. But anyways,
So Lou, say something so I can see if I can hear you.
Why would you hear me any better now than you did before?
Because we took the earphones
I
and put them
see.
on the desk.
Okay.
is that interfering with the broadcasts that they're now?
No.
Okay.
Do I look good?
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Stunning.
All right. So Ann had nothing because she wasn't prepared as usual.
Wow. Ouch.
She's not smiling. Look at that.
She's imagining she was somewhere else right now.
Yep.
She's yeah.
With,
That
with,
axe.
with a nice cold drink and a bloody axe in her hand.
And an axe. Mm-hmm.
She does look so cute, doesn't she?
Don't I?
She manages just to keep on smiling.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Anyways,
I have no
Roxy.
idea.
Now I got to do this twice this week, girls. Okay.
So-
I get them again on Wednesday, right?
What are you talking about? Anyways, what were you saying?
Sure. Just to
So I was saying, so we're going to the cemetery today?
Oh yeah, that's one thing we did want to talk about because
Yeah.
today why the lovely Van Helsing Angels are here in the studio is that we are going on another one of our big adventures.
Yes, we are. We
It's a big
love
one?
big adventures. Well,
It's a big one.
it's an adventure. Kind of.
It's a big adventure.
That's what Ron told us.
That's what it's going to say on Facebook. It's a big adventure.
Oh, Lord.
So anyways, we are going to Portsmouth Tower Lighthouse.
Oh,
Yay.
see, they didn't even
He
know.
didn't tell you that? No, he told me that.
You never tell the medium so they don't get any impressions.
Oh, well, now you just blew it. So.
I know. I forgot she was here.
Wow.
Nice.
All you got to do is look to your right.
Nice.
Well, I can't.
Right, I've been there
I'm
before.
so mesmerized at myself on the screen.
So mesmerized by watching yourself.
And then we were
Check
talking.
us in.
Then we were talking about going to the Point of Graves or something.
Yes.
Correct.
Ma'am.
Where is that?
Point of Graves is next to Prescott Park, just across from Strawberry Bank. It's the oldest cemetery in the state of New Hampshire.
So where could I park?
You can park around the corner behind the cemetery if there's a space
Can I
available.
park like in Strawberry Park in the Prescott Banky? You know when you come
None
down.
of those two things are alike of what you just said. Strawberry Bank, they're going to be open, so you won't be able to park there. Prescott Park, they took the parking spaces away from where the cemetery is, so you have to park on the other side, or you can park on
We
Pierce
like
Island.
walking, don't we, girl?
But
Yes,
it's fine.
sure.
Yeah. So you
No
can
problem.
either park on Pierce Island or on the other side of Prescott Park and walk
Pierce Island,
across.
right?
And Pierce Island's got some really
So,
great stories.
I'm sure it did. That's, of course, I know the original story from Pierce Island is where all the pirates used to go to get their rings in their ears and nose and stuff.
Is that where you went?
Their body piercings?
Body piercings, right? So if you go up there, they say, if you're not careful and you irritate them, you get your body pierced.
Oh, well, then how are you not pierced 1,000 times? Because you've been there.
No. Anyway, so that's where we're going. So we were going to this Point of Graves.
Point of Graves.
It's
is the name
like
of the
old?
cemetery. 1671 is the official date, although burials took place there as early as the 1650s.
Sweet.
Is that old, Liam?
Sweet. Yes. Why? Because you don't believe Roxy?
No.
How many books do you have, Roxy?
7.
Yeah. I think it's
All
old.
right.
Have you been there?
No.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm very excited because I've never been there.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to.
So that's the only reason she puts up with me, because I drag
That's
her to
right.
cemeteries.
Yeah, you drag me to cemeteries. Yeah, I don't bring you to any cemeteries at all.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, the only reason I mentioned it to Ann, because Ann is a taphophile.
Taphophile. She likes taffy.
Yes, a taphophile.
We'll bring her to the Goldenrod over in York then. If she likes taffy, she can watch the machine. Don't do that. I don't like that.
He always does that.
What?
So anyways, back to the cemetery.
Massacre a word.
So we're all going to go and bury you in it.
Yeah.
All right, so if I do get buried there, but I'm getting buried at sea, we all know that.
Yes, we know. Yes,
okay.
we've done that show
Right,
already.
okay. Right. So,
My glasses. This is so hard.
you know where you are on the air, right?
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's so rude.
Anyways, so this graveyard, is it the first graveyard in Portsmouth?
The official first graveyard it's the first one in Portsmouth, but it actually was out by the Seacoast Science Center, and it's a family burying ground. But there's really nothing over there to tell you how old it is. So this is the first common burying ground, which would have been used by the community, as opposed to a family burying ground, where it's just the family that lived on site.
Okay. So it's the first common.
Common burying ground.
Roxy, have you been there?
I'm not.
I'm Roxy. That's Leslie.
Roxy over there.
No, I've never been.
And that's Ann down there, and you're Ron. That's Lou, and Ken's out in the hallway.
All aboard.
No, I've never been there.
I'm glad you invited us up.
I am.
The show is iconic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
3 against 1, Ron. You lose.
Yeah. So, Leslie, you have been there, right?
No.
Okay, so I'm a little confused about this.
Why?
Because I remember
Uh-oh.
way back in the day when David Wells came over with Fiona Broom, and I thought we went to Point of Graves.
We may have. I don't know what cemetery we went to. I don't know what it was.
Do you remember any of that? Or I mean, I don't.
I remember when you went to Portsmouth, I think you also went to a different cemetery.
Was it a different cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Because I wasn't sure if we did. I know we went to a cemetery, and I wasn't sure if it was Point of Graves. Then maybe I've never been to Point of Graves before
The
either.
cemetery that we went to, there was a rock on top of a grave, so a lady couldn't get out of her grave.
That's York.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one we went to.
That's not why she gets out of it. That's a
Well-
wolf stone.
That's what I remember.
But
about.
that's the legend.
But-
And she's right. That's the legend.
It's a legend.
Right.
So what?
So
This is a show about made-up stuff?
Oh, stop it!
This is about the hard facts.
I'm going to give you a hard fact in a second.
You can borrow his book.
Where's Ken when I need him?
He's out in the hall. Poor kid.
He's
Jeez.
hiding in the hall.
So
Where are you
anyway,
going?
so yes, so the cemetery is very small. There's no stones holding anybody in the grave, so to speak, over there.
Okay.
And it's right along the waterfront. It's just beautiful.
Okay.
And most of the stones in there are from the 17th century. So you don't get a lot of cemeteries that hold that many stones from the 17th century.
So
anymore.
you've gone to a lot of cemeteries, Roxy, because you've
2 or 3.
You've written several books,
Yeah.
and do you find that the spirits you do connect with at the cemeteries, are they of a certain time period? In other words, are like older spirits stronger than like newer spirits? Do you find that at all?
No, I don't really think
That's a
that.
surprisingly excellent question.
I don't think that there's a specific difference in age, but one thing I have noticed is if a particular date comes up that is significant to the deceased, sometimes that makes a stronger presence in the cemetery, because we've had some incidents where the anniversary of someone's death date has come up and they've been much more physical than they have been in the past. And, for me, that makes sense because it's the anniversary of their death, so you're working in that energy. But I haven't noticed, being in a 20th century cemetery versus being in a cemetery like the Point of Graves, that the energy is very, very different.
Leslie, what about you?
Well, I just do what I do, and sometimes things come through stronger, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I get more vivid images. Sometimes I hear things. Sometimes I see things out of the corner of my eye. But I don't think it has anything to do with how long people have been gone. It depends on how much they want to get through to communicate with you, is my point.
So I guess I'll ask the both of you, and I'll start with you, Leslie, because you're still talking, is that what's the... At a cemetery, we're not talking like doing readings or anything, but at a cemetery, what is the latest person that you contacted with?
I don't even... The latest person? You mean furthest in time?
Most recently deceased.
Soonest in time. At a cemetery. I guess it would be early 1930s.
1930s. Roxy, what about you?
I'd have to go back probably about 20 years, but I would say probably 1970s.
Sounds 70s, all right.
I guess it depends on the graveyard you're in and how old the graveyard is.
And am I not leaving you out for a reason, but do you connect with it?
I don't generally connect with anybody.
But are you drawn to a certain gravestone for no reason at all?
Sometimes.
So you are
Yeah.
you are communicating on some level because they're drawing you in.
Okay. It could be.
Or it could be
Had
an
that
interesting
happen before.
gravestone.
Yeah, usually
I'm just saying.
a great honking sculpture
Have you
or
ever-
something on it.
Have you ever gone into a graveyard and just been walked and there it was, like when you weren't even trying to find
Yeah,
something?
I guess so. Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go, guidance.
All right. I'll take it.
So
take it.
we'll go to Roxy now, and when you stop that, when you see, you don't like it, I go.
I'm just doing it back to you, see?
See, yeah, fine. So when you do, let's say, your mediumship, and you're at a place that's next to a cemetery, do you connect with spirits from the cemetery?
So we did a seance some years back at Molly Malone's. This was probably more than 10 years ago. And there is an African burying ground in Portsmouth underneath the streets of the city. And we had slave spirits come through in that seance that were probably about 2 or 3 streets over. And we weren't calling them up. We were just doing the seance for the people that were in the room. And it was just an open opportunity for them to come through. So it was something I didn't expect, but they had come through. And it was funny because the cemetery had just been dug up.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. Leslie, what about you?
Same question?
Yeah, if you've been to a place that's been next to or near a cemetery, has any of the spirits that reside in the cemetery come through?
I can't remember, to be honest, but do you remember we went to that house where we did a private investigation, and this little child was talking to spirits in the house, and we were with Josh Mantello. I feel like I have to look at you.
Yeah. Right.
And what I was getting was a fire from next door. Remember the fire? And there was an empty, thank you, there was an empty lot next door.
There you go.
And the children came from that lot.
Oh yes, I do
You remember that?
But there's one, actually, there's one thing that I definitely remember, and Ann was there, and Leslie was there. No, you're fine. Leslie was there, and that, of course, was the roller skating rink.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Right next to the cemetery.
Right next to the cemetery. And that night, when we connected upstairs, it was the guy that, remember, it was a relative of one of the persons there, and he was buried in that cemetery, and he came through.
Yeah.
So that's the one that comes to mind for me. And, of course, one of the most famous cases that I worked on, and I say famous because it's all over the freaking world, is that the one where the spirits were in a house and actually led us to a cemetery to where they were buried. It was
That was in
old
Salem,
family plot.
right?
Yeah, it was the house that went to pot. which is in many. It's all over the internet, and it's also in Vala Ventura's new book, Paranormal Power, and it's in our book, Ghost Chronicles. But it's one of the rare times that we were led somewhere by his spirit. And the interesting thing, it was not just mediumship as well. It was a connection with the EMF meter. In other words, I basically followed my EMF meter that night through the woods to find this graveyard. So
Very cool.
And I also know another case. This is when I was an usher at church. One of the parishioners came up to me and found out what I was doing and wanted to relay something. And they lived next to a cemetery. And they told me a couple stories where they believe spirits from the cemetery came through. One was the gentleman woke up in the middle of the night and saw a woman going through the drawer of dresser drawers, just looking at it. And he yelled at it, and she turned to him, and then just went back to doing it again. And then finally he got up and turned the light on, and then she disappeared. And then the woman, the wife, was in the same bedroom. And she woke up, and the room was bright, and she looked at the closet door, and there was a red, like, pinwheel of light just getting bigger and bigger and stronger and intense. It was just going round and round like this, and then finally she screamed, and it disappeared.
It was Zool.
So,
Turn into the refrigerator. Yeah.
so this, I guess there is a connection. I mean, we all. Go ahead.
Remember when we were at that roller skating rink,
Yes.
and when we first got there, Leslie saw in her head a stone with
Oh, that's
a
enough,
weird
yeah.
hole in it.
Yeah.
She said, I'm just seeing a stone with a hole in it. And we went through the whole cemetery, and then finally on the way back, right before we were going to duck under the fence to go back to the rink, there it was, right next to the fence, where we had to go back through. And it was very strange. I don't even know. It looked like something was supposed to be in the middle of it.
Yeah,
And-
maybe a statuette or something.
Yeah, a statue or something, but it wasn't there anymore.
It was a hole.
It was just a hole, literally a stone with a hole in it. Like, well,
Have you been drawn to stones and like that? Where
Oh yeah, quite frequently, and it's one of the things that when you walk into a cemetery, for me, I try to be very open and just kind of let the energy lead me around. It doesn't happen all the time, but every so often, and then I'll stop and look at the stone and be like, all right, so what's the story here? Or I'll take a picture of it and go back and research it, and sometimes there's a really cool story there. Yeah, a lot of people do that, and it'll be interesting to see you guys at the point of graves today when they walk into the cemetery.
It'll be interesting.
Well, I know that, but just to see where you go when you walk into the cemetery, because it's not that big, but oftentimes when we go there, people are like, I gotta see that stone right over there. Like, I've never been here before. Like, what's the story over there? And they just go, and it's oftentimes repeated in different occasions where people are like, I need to see that one. So I'm really excited.
awesome.
I'm hoping to go to another cemetery too, but I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to reveal anything for our psychic friend here.
Our psychic friend.
Medium rare, Leslie Martin. Get her book.
Go.
Anyways, speaking about books, Ghost Chronicles, more Ghost Chronicles, the new book. There is another story about cemeteries as well in it. When we went to Georgia to sign with our not publisher, what do they call those things? Agents. We went to a cemetery and we were escorted by the police,
Oh,
the whole police force, all two of them.
Well, that's like Newcastle.
why?
And because this is down south, they don't like people doing stuff. Anyway,
Doing stuff. That's really
Don't do stuff.
Don't do stuff.
so
Don't go to the cemetery.
while we were there, which was intriguing, is they actually asked us to go look at a couple of police officers' graves who had died during what do you call it? In
Line of duty.
the line of duty. Thank you very much. And so we did that, and that's all in our book, More Ghost Chronicles. That's the little teaser.
I just saw that book.
You did? Where was it?
It's at Deadwick's.
Really?
We have the entire book. Yeah, we have the proof copy. It was sent to us.
Deadwick's.
So lucky.
Yeah, we've got
Ahead
it.
of time.
But pre-mark your calendar for October 13th because you're going to be coming up to Deadwick's.
Deadwick's.
And we're going to do something which remains to be seen, but we'll do something.
I'm sure we will.
Lucky 13.
Still working on it.
Yeah, but Deadwick's is a cool place. Maybe we can stop by there. You guys been there, Deadwick's?
No,
before?
I've never been there.
So,
I'd
Roxy,
love to go
where's
there.
Deadwick's? So
Deadwick's is right downtown on Chief Street. It's about a 2-minute walk from the North Church as you head down towards the waterfront. It's in between Daniel Street and State Street.
it's kind of a cool place. A little dark, though. It's like, you need a
Oh,
flashlight.
stop. You don't need a flashlight. You're
Is that where we
exaggerating.
went with the seance? Was that Deadwick's or was that someplace?
Yeah, we went to Deadwick's, then we went across
Oh,
the
my
street.
God, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. You
Yeah.
were at the seance.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hi.
Remember Leslie, the medium? She was there?
Yeah. Been there.
Done that.
But I don't think you've been there, Ann.
I've never been there.
Very cool.
It's a cool place.
I'd love to go there.
Dark, but cool.
Well, it's Deadwick's.
So where would you recommend us to eat in Portsmouth,
Dark.
since we're doing a tour?
Oh,
Well, you could go to, there's Ghost Stories at Poco's Bow Street Cantina, which is over on Bow Street. It's a little Mexican place. I'm telling the ladies because they'll tell you because you're making faces at me now. Poco's Bow Street Cantina. Stop it. Stop it right now. Don't do that.
Ken, you're a saint.
Stop.
oh, wow. Nah.
So, Lou, I'm so glad this is my last show on Ghost Chronicles. Like, I'm done now. Well, what's really cool is...
You can't be done.
No.
It's like,
I've been done. Trust me.
it's like damnation. It's eternal.
It's your own personal purgatory. There you go.
But the really cool thing is if you go to Poco's on Bow Street, there's a little frozen yogurt parlor, and it's called Izzy's. And just as you're going past Izzy's before the entrance to Poco's, on the front of the building is this really cool historic artifact. And it can't be moved, changed, or altered in any way. And it was taken off of one of the brothels in town. And it's the window that the ladies used to advertise their wares in. And it's on the front of the building. There's no
They sold
information
stuff?
about it. What?
They sold stuff?
Sorry.
Where is?
They sold their wares, their underwears is what they sold. Their underwears. I was trying to be nice.
Oh, I
So
get
it's really cool. It looks like it doesn't belong in the building at all, but the building has lots and lots of ghost stories. So
Neat.
Poco's is right on the water too, which is really
Is
nice.
the Rusty Nail still there?
Rusty Hammer, Hammer.
Nail, saw.
Tetanus.
Yes,
Whatever.
it is
You
still
all
there.
need a tetanus shot for each one of those.
It has new owners and it's much smaller than it used to
Yeah, I
be.
heard they cut it down there.
Yeah, they did. That is still there on the corner of State
Is
Street.
any good?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Book and Bar across the street in the old Customs House,
Oh, what
which
is
is
this?
pretty cool. The Book and Bar. It's a
Book and Bar.
It's a kind of vintage bookstore and
Drunk
bar
reading.
and restaurant in the old
They have
Customs House.
they have like real food, American food.
What kind of food do you think they'd
Ron
have?
doesn't like Mexican food.
Oh, he doesn't like Mexican.
We tried to do that in East
No, not a
Bridgewater.
fan.
I'll eat tacos.
He went to Fiestas. He didn't like it.
Well, actually,
Well, Poco's has both Mexican and American.
Yeah.
They have some great pasta dishes there
we'll
as
see.
well.
We'll see.
We'll see which one we're drawn to.
We'll see which one. Yeah, we're trying to.
There you go.
Where the spirit moves
That's
us.
right.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Get out the dozen rods.
All right, so you have a show coming up, and well, we still got a couple more minutes. But anyways, let's promo it now. Anyways, you have a show after us, I believe, right?
I do Wicked Curious.
Wicked curious.
Wicked Curious.
And what are we doing this week?
So this week we're going to talk about some rock hounding, where you can go and dig for crystals in New England and find some really awesome stuff. And we're going to talk about the cemetery talk that we did last week in Newton and what happened there and what's going on here with this plastic plant. It's very
Do you
distracting.
remember laughing?
It's not a real plant, Ron.
Artie Johnson.
Plastic.
Addie Johnson, you do remember?
I remember.
Oh my God.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just drawn.
He's drawn
this
to the
pot.
plant.
It's on MeTV. I'm watching it now. Good.
Anyway, all right. So that sounds a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. It's a lot of fun.
It's a great show. If you haven't listened to it, tune in. It's right after this one. So if you're looking for some real content, go to that one.
Pretty much.
Thanks.
All right, so we've only got a couple minutes left, so it's time to do a little horoscopes.
Horror. The horror of the
boy.
horoscope. What's it say about Mount Washington?
Never Mount Washington.
Oh, what's it Mount Washington on
Mount
it?
Washington neighborhood.
Oh.
Oh.
God, women. Anyways, we'll start off with Lou because he's been so good today
Yes,
and so quiet.
What is he?
You are a Leo, right?
I am indeed.
As
am
well as
also a
Foxy
Leo.
is a Leo too. So let's going to read your horoscope. This is Eugenia Last.
That's rain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is that rain?
It's
It's boring.
Okay. Dealing with someone you are in a joint venture with should be handled carefully.
There you go.
Listen and discuss the ups and downs of any decision that needs to be made.
There's ups.
There's ups. Ups are an option?
I guess.
Okay.
Leslie, what are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
I am too.
Ken, what are you?
Scorpio.
That's what I thought. God, I'm outnumbered by all these
All
weird
right.
creatures. Scorpio,
You're outnumbered by Scorpios.
be the solution, not the problem.
God, I
Remember that, ladies.
I say that to kids all the
Be
time.
the solution and not the problem. Offer to
All day
help
long.
or take over and get things done your way. Oops, never mind that.
There you go.
Be creative and you can solve any challenge when it comes your way.
That's my life on a daily basis.
All right. That's perfect.
So,
That
In
fit
a
you guys?
nutshell.
it's me.
Yes.
All right, so who's left?
You.
Me.
Oh my
And of
God.
course, I am Pisces,
Oh,
the fish.
fish.
Use insight and incentives when dealing with others.
M&Ms?
I could.
Lunch.
And it will be easier for you to get around obstacles
Ah.
or opposition
Oh, Lord.
you
See?
face.
Then you better pay attention to that.
Keep your emotions well hidden.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Perfect.
All right, there's the things. If I'd say, if you really want to know, but no one's listening anymore, it doesn't really matter. You could call in, or write in, or whatever. All right, so we still got time left, unfortunately.
The longest show
I
ever.
wanna say, why are the ladies here? I'm guessing they're here for a reason. There's an event.
They're with me
Oh, okay.
for our great
We're having
adventure.
a big adventure.
Okay.
Big adventure.
So tell us about the adventure.
Ron and Leslie.
Not allowed to
Ann's
because
big
I'm in the room.
adventure.
Oh, okay.
We did, yeah, we did. We talked about it. We're going to Portsmouth Harbor Lighthouse
Into the cemetery.
and to the Point of Grave Cemetery. Did you follow the show? I mean, it was
this
just
a
so
public event?
smooth. And
No.
He's on Wikipedia.
I had nothing else to do except, yeah, look up your saints.
He's reading up on the
find
5
my
billion
saint?
saints.
Yes, I did find
you
you.
did.
Yeah.
It was what I said, right?
Yeah, sure.
I know it.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever you say.
He's so disappointed.
Why? I had no emotional investment in your saint.
You
And I
should.
assumed you knew what you were talking about.
You really do? All the years here, I never thought you assumed I knew what I was talking about.
Well, in the case of St. Ronald, I figured you looked it up.
But I did have a cool experience at the haunted tours on Saturday,
Oh,
What happened?
because I actually got to see the International Space Station go
Did you?
overhead.
oh,
Did you ever see that?
yep,
It's pretty cool. It goes fast.
it does.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You ever see it?
And it's
Rusty?
really bright, too.
Yeah, it's bright, and it just goes. It goes.
There it goes.
And there it goes.
And it's gone.
I was going to point it out to the group, but Jeremy was talking and talking and talking.
You
So I
know,
never got it in.
they send out a public feed, so what you could have done is had a flashlight. And when it went over, you could have signaled it.
Yeah, someone actually told me that it was here, and that's why.
But there
I
is a
knew it
public
was.
feed you can watch. It's actually nice.
Oh, cool.
Hey, what
I'll look that up.
I'll talk about the ghost tours a little bit, for we got a couple of minutes. But as part of the ghost tours all the time, we always do a little dowsing at the thing and connect the different spirits, which is fun. People like it. This is the first time we connected with the spirit of the woman that is always seen. No, I have to stand corrected because Leslie and I did. Of the spirit that is seen on the walls of the fort and the seawalls that walks around. This is the first time that she's come through in any fashion. So,
Except for that time that.
Except for that time. You guys.
were you there?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So, Leslie,
You just said it.
so what happened, Leslie?
Said it.
We were in that little turret place, and you were
But you
going to.
can no longer go in
Why?
because somebody got beat on the head with bricks.
Oh,
Oops.
that's
knew that.
I
unfortunate.
did. They just, it's crumbling, so they got hit by
A lot of the fort now is
Yeah, it's in
taped
bad
off.
shape.
It's taped off, actually. They have crime scene tape everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were in that coincidental rangefinder, or whatever it is called. And we had a Ouija board there, right?
Yes, we did, and we made contact, and I don't remember the particulars because I'm really bad at that. That's why I have you. You're gonna have to talk about it. I remember that she talked about being part of some sort of civil air thing. Isn't that what it was? You don't know what I'm
I
saying.
don't know, but now you have heartbeats.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we have what?
It's time to wrap.
Your heartbeats.
We have
All right.
heartbeats?
Yeah,
It's the end of the show.
it's the end of the show.
I thought it was
Hello?
because I was playing with that.
No,
Oh, God.
it's heartbeats. Well, you don't believe me? I can hear them. I'm the only one with headphones on.
So I guess it's time.
Say goodbye.
Actually, doesn't need that. So it's time to say goodbye. So till next time,
could've gone forever.
we want
He
to
does
thank
this
you
every
all
week.
for listening. And good night and God bless. Tune in for Roxy's show next.
Bye, everybody.
Stay spooky.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night. Deliver us, good Lord.